The table was set like a promise. Candles spaced evenly, cloth napkins folded into soft peaks, place cards written in the looping hand my sister used when she wanted something to feel official. It was the kind of arrangement that said we know how to do this, family as a practice ritual. My son hovered behind my chair, waiting for the cue. He was 9 and had learned the rules early. Don't assume, don't rush, read the room before you move. I hated that about him and loved it both at once. He stepped toward an empty seat. No seat for Brats. My sister said lightly, as if she were correcting a spill. This is for the good ones. Her kids burst out laughing. Not the wild kind, short, sharp, pleased. The sound hit the table and stayed there. My son froze. Not dramatic. Just still, like someone had turned the volume down on him. He looked at me, then away, already rehearsing how not to cry in front of people who would call it sensitivity. Around the table, adults adjusted their posture. Someone reached for water. Someone else laughed too late, too quietly, as if to say this is awkward, but let's keep moving. No one said her name. I felt the familiar urge rise, the one that says say something clever, fix it fast, keep things smooth. It had been my job for years. Smooth over jokes that weren't jokes. Pay for things so no one had to talk about money. Translate hurt into humor so we could all eat. But my son was still standing. Come sit with me, I said, and slid my chair back. I didn't look at my sister when I said it. I didn't need to. The damage had already landed. The correction didn't need an audience. He sat. The meal resumed. The candles burned the same. The rules held. Because that's what rules do when no one challenges them. They pretend nothing happened. Later, in the kitchen, I rinsed plates while my sister talked about the resort. She was excited in the way people get when someone else has handled the logistics. Ocean-facing rooms, kids' club vouchers, spa credits. She kept saying we, and I kept nodding, because nodding is a language I'm fluent in. It wasn't until we were home, shoes kicked off, that my son asked, "Did I do something bad?" "No," I said too quickly, then slowed down. "No, you didn't." He nodded, accepted it, and went to brush his teeth. Children believe what they're taught to believe. That's the part that scares you. I sat at the table with my laptop open, the house quiet around me. The bookings were easy to find. I'd made them myself, after all, 3 rooms, a package deal. My card on file because it was simpler that way. Simpler had been my guiding principle. Simpler than splitting checks. Simpler than conversations. I clicked through the confirmations. Read the cancellation policies. The language was dry, precise. No drama. It felt like stepping into a room where the rules were clear and evenly enforced, which was more than I could say for the dinner table. I canceled everything tied to my card. The confirmations landed in my inbox with polite finality. I didn't text anyone. I didn't announce it. I closed the laptop and went to bed. The next few days passed without incident. School mornings, packed lunches, a forgotten library book. My son didn't bring up the dinner again. I noticed small adjustments. He sat a little straighter, spoke a little less. The cost of that night wasn't theoretical. It lived in his shoulders. On the 3rd day, my phone buzzed. "What time do we check in?" My sister wrote, followed by a beach umbrella emoji. I stared at the message longer than I needed to. Not because I was unsure, but because I wanted to be certain I was answering the right question. This wasn't about check-in times. It was about assumptions: who pays, who absorbs, who smooths the edges so others don't have to. I typed, erased, typed again, then I wrote, "You don't." The response was immediate. "What do you mean?" I didn't explain. I didn't recount the dinner or quote her words back to her. I sent the cancellation confirmations. PDFs, impersonal, unmistakable. Authority without a face. The calls came after that. Missed at first, then answered. Her voice was sharp, then incredulous, then edged with something like fear. She asked if I was serious. She asked how I could do this to the kids. She asked if I was punishing her over a joke. It wasn't a joke, I said. My voice surprised me, steady, warm, wounded. And I'm not paying for it anymore. There was silence on the line. Not the kind that invites more words, but the kind that settles, heavy and instructive. She tried again, softer this time. She said family doesn't keep score. She said I was overreacting. She said I should have said something at the table. I did, I said. I moved my chair. After that, the conversation changed shape. Logistics replaced accusations. She asked if there was anything to be done. I said the bookings were canceled, the terms clear. I offered to help her find something within her budget. I meant it. When we hung up, I felt no rush, no vindication, just a quiet alignment, like finally standing straight after years of leaning. The fallout wasn't dramatic. There were fewer invitations. Conversations thinned. Holidays became careful. My sister learned new ways to tell stories where I wasn't the generous background character. I learned to let that be. What remained surprised me. A steadiness. The sense that my money now matched my values. That protection didn't require shouting. That boundaries, once drawn, could hold without constant defense. Months later, at another family dinner, smaller, quieter, my son took a seat without asking. No one laughed. No one commented. The candles burned the same. I watched him eat, shoulders looser than they'd been in a while, and understood the consequence I could live with.